One of the most recognizable helicopters warthunder has in the game is the AH-1 family. This includes the AH-1 Zulu, a heavily upgraded version of the Cobra that was flown during Vietnam. It has now undergone many upgrades, and one of those, being back in 2020, was to upgrade the Viper's capabilities from the AIM-9M to the AIM-9X Sidewinder. Now in War Thunder, the AH-1Z Viper is armed with two AIM-9M Sidewinder air-to-air missiles. This is already fairly potent, but with War Thunder adding the AIM-9X on board the new Claws SAM system for the United States, I think it's about time that we can talk about maybe getting the 9X on board the Viper. Now, I think it's very reasonable to assume that we'll see the 9X on board the Viper in the future, possibly even before we see the 9X on board other US aircraft. My reasoning for this is pretty simple. Viper is already, well, most helicopters in general, unless you're Chinese helicopters with the TY-90, already somewhat suffer against enemy aircraft. This would just allow the Viper to be slightly more potent against enemy aircraft. Not that the 9M already isn't potent. Against the Viper, it makes it incredibly dangerous. The 9X would just increase us by a lot. I also want to point out that it might be too advanced to come on board the Viper. The Viper is armed with a head-mounted display system for the AIM-9M. This already allows for shooting off bore sight with the 9M, and if you gave it the 9X with thrust vectoring, it would become pretty much undodgeable, because unless you were actually observing the Viper launch the missile, you would have little to no chance to actually dodge it, because it doesn't leave a smoke plume. I think it's just one of those things that we'll have to wait and see. With the new SAM systems and apparently Russian IRS or Russian IRCCCM systems, or DIRCM systems getting upgraded in terms of gameplay wise, it's not out of the question to possibly see the Viper get access to the 9X. Do I think it's going to be in the near future? Probably not, but could it happen? Absolutely. I just think it's one of those things that it could be a little too good. The 9M and the Viper are already performing just fine. If it comes to an issue where they give the Russian, better better systems for their helicopters. They already did give the Russian MIA Amtish the Verba air-to-air missile. If they wanted to maybe add the Verba to all of the Russian aircraft or helicopters, but they haven't. I think it's safe to assume that we will see the 9X maybe in a year or two on board the Viper. It's just one of those things that it might just be a little too good. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comments. If you guys are not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. It helps out the channel quite a bit. Also, leave a like on the video and comment. And then also join the Discord link down below in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in a later video.